Burchot habaot, ladies. This week's Parshat is Beshalach, and a defining moment of Jewish faith takes place on the shores of Yam Suf. Am Yisrael was cornered into a quick and fateful decision. They were trapped between the raging waters of the sea and a raging Egyptian army that was approaching with their chariots. Bnei Israel did not have too many options. Some Jews froze from the fear. Others wanted to run back to Egypt, straight into the hands of their former oppressors. Others just stood there and davened, they prayed. And others wanted to wage war against the Egyptians. But one group of Jews, led by Nachshon ben Aminadav alav shalom, forged ahead. Where did they forge ahead to? Straight into the sea. They plunged into the sea. When Nachshon ben Aminadav and that entire group went into the sea as a display of emunah in Hashem, only then did the sea split and the Jews crossed the sea. What happened then? The Egyptians began to chase after the Jews, but the waters closed in on them and they drowned. Ladies, in a defining moment of faith, the Torah tells us, Vayar Yisrael et hayad hagedola asher asa Hashem b'Mitzrayim. And Bnei Israel saw the great hand that HaKadosh Baruch Hu inflicted upon the Egyptians. Vayir'u ha'am et Hashem, and the people revered Hashem. Vayaminu ba'Hashem uveMoshe avdo. And they had faith in Hashem and in his servant Moshe. There's a strange connection in the pasuk between emunah and Hashem and Moshe, his servant. And we need to clarify that idea. What's the minor role of the servant in relationship to the great role of faith that we have to have in HaKadosh Baruch Hu? The answer to that question can be explained with a story. Rabbi Yisrael Salanter alav shalom once gave a fiery speech about the meaning of emunah. When the speech was over, one of his talmidim approached him and asked, Rabbi, are you telling me that I have to have perfect faith in Hashem that He'll provide all my needs? And Rabbi Yisrael Salanter said, yes, if one has perfect faith in Hashem, He will indeed provide for him. So the student replied, good, because if that's the case, I don't have to work anymore. I'll quit my job and I'll go sit and learn Torah and I'll rely on my emunah. And the 20,000 rubles that I need to survive is going to come to me just like the man that fell from the heaven. The man went home, quit his job, and he began to study Torah. But after 1 week, when the money didn't come at his doorstep, he went back to Rabbi Yisrael Salanter and he started to complain and he said, I have the emunah that you claim that I need. And so far, no money came to me. So Rabbi Yisrael Salanter thought about it for a second. He says, you know what, I'll tell you what. You need 20,000 rubles to get by, right? The guy says, yeah. He says, I'll tell you what. I have in my drawer right here 8,000 rubles in cash. I'm willing to give you these 8,000 rubles cash if you give me your emunah that 20,000 rubles are going to come to you. The student jumped out of his chair and he said, 8,000 rubles? You have it right now? I'll take it. Rabbi Yisrael Salanter smiled and he said, now I know why the money hasn't come to you. Who in his right mind would give up 20,000 rubles for a mere 8,000 rubles? Only someone who doesn't really have perfect faith that he'll indeed receive the 20,000 rubles, he's willing to give it up. If a person is positive that he's about to receive the 20,000 rubles and he's absolutely confident that it's coming to him, he wouldn't in his right mind give up all that money for a mere 8,000 rubles. So it's obvious to me that you have more emunah in my 8,000 rubles than you have emunah in the 20,000 rubles that you think HaKadosh Baruch Hu is sending you. Ladies, the Torah HaKadoshah tells us that Am Yisrael feared God and that they believed in Moshe Rabbeinu, his servant. Notice that the first and foremost belief is in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That remarkable faith is the springboard for the emunah that we have for HaKadosh Baruch Hu's messengers, for his shlichim, messengers like Moshe Rabbeinu, who was the vehicle of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's command. You see, usually a person has a tendency to believe in his fellow men much faster than he believes in God. When a stockbroker gives you a hot tip, you invest thousands of dollars in the stock market. When the weatherman predicts a huge snowstorm, you run out to the supermarket and you fill up the fridge and all the cabinets in your house. When a doctor gives a person a terrible prognosis, that person begins to despair. We forget that the source of emunah is really in Hashem, not man. Once we have total and complete faith in Hashem, only then can we believe in his shlichim and his messengers. Rav Yerucham Levavitz, alav shalom, the Mashgiach of the Mir Yeshiva, explained that the Jews at the Yam Suf reached the highest level of emunah. They didn't follow Moshe Rabbeinu because he was such a charismatic leader. They followed him because of their complete faith in Hashem. They trusted in Hashem so much that that's how they were able to follow his shaliach, Moshe. Ladies, this is the emunah of those who take that leap of faith. It's a faith they wouldn't trade for any deal in the entire world.